Hey guys, it's Charlie on the Pagan Perspective, and today I'm going to be answering your questions. So the first question is the fact that you travel around the world influencing your spiritual path? To start off, I identify as pagan witch, and I do think that my travels affect my spirituality because I actually grew up Christian. Growing up, I was interested in Wicca and paganism, but I decided to hold off until I got older and out of the house. And I forgot all about it, and then when I moved to Korea was when it kind of all came back to me. I am able to see different ways of living, and the way people live their lives is so different in each country that I go to, and it makes me realize that there are many ways to do things, many ways to live, many ways to believe and think. So I do think so. Do you pick up things from here and there, or do you have a core tradition that you follow? I pretty much pick up things here and there. I don't feel like any one specific tradition fits me completely, so I do the whole picking from here, cherry picking. Yeah, what works for me, and yeah. Okay, so the next question is, what led me to my path, and was there an inciting incident or any specific thing that happened to lead me to my path? And like I said, I grew up Christian, and when I moved to South Korea, I was kind of questioning everything, like all of my beliefs that I grew up with, all of the conditioning that I was conditioned into thinking and ways of believing, and I questioned, really, do I really believe this? So I wrote down all the things that I believed, and I thought to myself, what would I believe if I just lived out in nature? Because I'm into nature. So I was like, I probably wouldn't believe in Jesus, because how would I in nature hear of Jesus? And I would probably believe in something in nature. So that's how I started really forming my practice. I pretty much wrote down a lot of things that I believed, and then I realized that a lot of it went back to my childhood. From when I was into nature, I would put rocks in my window, and I didn't know that that's what a lot of people do to charge their crystals and things like that. But I was doing things like that, talking to plants and stuff like that, all that weird stuff. How do you feel your path has improved your life, or how has it distracted from your life? Well, I pretty much feel like my practice is my life. Like, I don't feel like it's a separate part. And a lot of people do like, oh, this is my spiritual practice and this is my life. But I feel like everything that I do, from the way that I eat to the way that I try to interact with people, is a part of my spiritual practice. So that's one way that it enhances my life, because I try to incorporate everything into my full life experience and not separate it. And then a way that it might hinder my life is feeling like I need to have a separate part of my practice and separate it from my life, like burning this candle or doing a spell or something like that, you know. Just my life, my actions day to day can be my practice. The next question is, what has been my favorite country to live in and travel to, and why? My favorite country is Mexico, because, well, everywhere I go, I encounter a lot of great people. But my main reason is I love the language, I love the people, the culture, and the food. The food is always what makes a country worth it or not, and Mexican food is one of my favorite foods to eat. Do you find it difficult to practice in Korea, knowing they are a pretty conservative country? Have you shared anything with any of your friends there or coworkers about your practice? I don't find that it's difficult to practice in Korea, because a lot of Buddhist tradition and things like that still exist in Korean culture. Even though a lot of people are Christian nowadays in Korea, there's a lot of tradition and ritual and ideas that come from Buddhism, and things from nature, like ways of thinking and giving to each other and things that come from nature. I have talked to my co-teacher. I told her that I'm pagan because she asked me what my religion is. Actually, her and my previous co-teacher was a male, and they both asked me, and I told them I'm pagan, and they didn't understand what that meant. So I kind of explained it to them that it's a nature religion, and it's kind of the idea that I have about the world and life. And they said, oh, okay, like my school is a Christian school, but and those people that I was speaking to were Christian, but they weren't trying to change me to become Christian. They just were like, oh, okay, that's interesting. It's kind of like Buddhism. So they were able to understand it. Oh, and another thing is, not only can I relate my religion or spirituality to Buddhism to help them kind of understand, but also there's something with totems where they can kind of understand from traditions past before Christianity, where people would probably pray to totems or things like that. They kind of have an understanding of what nature-based religions are, so it's easier for them to understand if you relate it to something like Buddhism or kind of totem type religions. Someone asked me if I have investigated the Emerald Tablet, and if so, what are my thoughts on it? I only quickly looked at it. I'm not into those kind of things. Like, I feel like everything that I need to learn can be found in nature, and I think it's interesting and cool to go and look at things that were previously written, but I don't feel like my spirituality is based on those things or ways of thinking. I think it's interesting, but I'm not really into that. You seem to travel a lot. Is it because you like to see different places, like a lifestyle, or is it because of work? To what kind of places do you go, and how long do you stay there? So I pretty much travel for both work and play. So I travel because I teach English. Right now I teach English in South Korea, and I taught English in Mexico. But I also travel as a part of my lifestyle. In between working, I enjoy, like for example right now, I'm on vacation, and so I'm traveling. I'm going to 3 new countries. I'm in one of them, but if you want to see where, you can check out my regular channel, Charly Cheer. But yeah, I pretty much travel for both work and for my lifestyle as fun. And I really enjoy travel. It's one of the things that makes me feel happy, and like my life is purposefully lived. I don't know. Yeah, I just feel like I'm living my purpose when I travel and explore and see new things. The types of places that I go depends on where I'm at the moment. For example, when I was in Korea and I had vacation, I traveled to Thailand, Cambodia, the Philippines, Taiwan. Right now, I'm in a completely different area, so it really all depends on what I'm inspired by. If I have friends, family members, or people who are like, come here, visit me. When I went to Mexico, I was already interested in Mexico, but I was pretty much open to finding work or just traveling for fun. And I had a friend who was a cheerleader with me in high school, and she had already been inviting me to Mexico. So I said, you know what, I'm gonna go to Mexico, and then I ended up finding a job there and loved it. So I really just go wherever I feel inspired to go and where I wanna go. Maybe I'm inspired by the language. For example, Korea, I was inspired by the language. Mexico, I was inspired by the language and the food. And yeah, it really is a full cultural experience for me. And the food always is the part that wins me over. So yeah, I think that's all of the questions. Thank you guys for watching, and don't forget to check out my regular channel if you want to see where I am, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!